What up, guys? So here's my bench seat for the S10. As you see, I pulled it out, and if you look in here, got a bunch of mold in there. So I got mold all over my sub box, all in here. It's spread everywhere. So what we got to do now is we got to rip this thing apart. See, there's mold all in there, right there where the seat belt goes. Hopefully it didn't get back here because I need to use this part still. The kit only came with the bottom portion, so I don't know if you guys could hear me. I got the fan going. It's pretty hot out today, but these are two 10 mils. I'm gonna take these two 10 mils off, pop this guy out right here. This will release the backing of the seat. And we'll put this with this so we don't lose it. This bench should have a zipper somewhere. All right, so we got this whole thing removed, and it looks like it's probably gonna be an issue as well. So what we're gonna have to do now is take off this screw right here, pop this cover off, and most likely there's gonna be a nut that's right there. This is gonna be like a T50 maybe, T45. Close T50. Yep, T50. Put a little anti-seize on this when we're done. Okay, now we gotta do the same thing to the other side. See if I can do this whole thing one-handed. That off. This thing will just flip over onto your dirty driveway like that. And then all we got to do now is flip this guy over, and we're gonna cut off all these hog rings. So this thing should retract, no problem. But man, this thing is all moldy. It's gonna piss me off, I already know. Look at that, horrible, dude. Okay, so all these hog rings right here, you're basically just gonna snap them all off. Snap those off. This thing should clip in. It should have a V channel in there, and it'll just clip in. We gotta take off the rail. So it's 1 bolt, two and one. These are probably 13 mils. All right, let's see. 13 mil. Let's see if I'm a real car guy. Oh, look at that. 13 mil. Where's my? It's my 10 mil. Right here. I'm trying to do this whole thing with one hand, guys. Bear with me. All right. One's off. Two's off. 3. All right. This is how it's supposed to look. Now I'm taking photos of this for my reference, because I'm gonna forget how this thing goes in probably. All right, here we go. Watch out with your rail. This thing could snap on you when you're taking it up. Where'd that third one go? In here somewhere? Yeah, I'll find it. I'll find it right now. Not a big deal. Alright, so this is gonna have a hook. Most likely, it'll probably go in there. This is gonna probably bend. So you're probably gonna have to bend this upwards like that, so it'll release the cable. So you see? So we'll get some channel locks. Just like that. Alright, so you're gonna put a flathead in there. bend it outwards. And this is the first time I do upholstery on a bench seat. I've done it for like cars and stuff, but never on a bench seat. So you guys are learning with me right now. So if you guys see a better method on how to do something, put it in the comments below, because odds are whoever's watching this is going to be their first time doing it as well, and we could just help each other all out. So let's see. So once you get this removed, which is for this side, these brackets, you can grab them because they stay together. Put those to the side. Now what we got to do is snap all these hog rings off. Now if you buy the kit from LMC like me, you're gonna get hog rings and you're gonna get pliers to do your hog rings. So these, you got to grab them and just snap them off. See that? It's a little hard, but it's all right. Don't be a girl. There you go. Snap these. Snap. 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 So we got all of these hog rings removed, right? So all these are removed. I didn't snap most of these. I did snap them, but I just kind of twist them. That way I could just release it from the brace or the skeleton, whatever you want to call it. So now here's what we have to do. This will just lift off pretty much. As you guys see, there's a channel in here. Where the hell's there glue? Hot glue in here. Anyways, so this is a channel, and this basically just sandwiches on and it hooks in. So what we can do is just grab a flathead, and most likely if you're redoing your bench seat, this should be the same concept pretty much for S10s, Silverados, C10s, the list goes on. Pretty much it's basically gonna be the same concept. So if you don't have this on your truck, you're most likely gonna have hog rings on the whole thing. This might be in sections, so you might have like this big of a section for a V-clip, and then over there and so on, or it might be the whole thing. But basically this is how the whole thing is pretty much going to go for you. So you can see, just grab it, and you really don't have to worry about being careful because you're replacing it. So go ahead at it. Now if you are replacing the foam, you don't have to worry about it really like me, but if you aren't and you're planning on reusing it because yours is clean and you don't have all this mold in there, then I would be careful. But here we go. So we're gonna take that off. This will come out right here. Probably be easier for you to flip it over. Here you go. There you go. That's your bench sheet right there. So snap this thing off. Snap that hog ring off. Snap these off. Keep in mind, guys, this is the first time I'm doing it for a bench seat, and I'm doing it one-handed. So this side is the backrest. It's where you lean on. Now what we got to do is figure out how to take this thing off. So let's see. This is going to have the same thing. It's going to have hog rings on the inside. So I'm going to have to take these off. It's only a few, actually. Man, that thing smells so bad. All right, let's take this thing off. See what it does. All right, so here we go. It did take me 2 hands to do this, but you get the point. You get the point. If I was able to do all that with one hand and get up to here, you should be able to do the same as well. So here's what I'm trying to figure out is, do I keep this or do I buy another block of foam? and rewrap it. Not 100% sure. I kind of do want to call an upholstery shop and see how much they'll charge me for a block of foam this big. If it's too much, I'll just buy one on LMC, but I really don't have much of a choice now. I do need to replace it because the kit that I purchased only came with one foam block, and that goes for the bottom portion. So this one, it's either reuse it or run out and try to find another one, another piece of foam. So we'll see what I can do. Make sure you guys pick up all your hog rings. If you're doing it in the grass, pick them up. If you're doing them in your driveway, pick them up, because then your dog will step on it, you'll step on it. I had one of these get stuck on my shoe right now, so be careful. These are sharp, especially if you're twisting them. Look at that. That'll go right through your tire, no problem. Or your foot. Alright, so got that all sanded down. I wire wheeled it real good using some spray weight glass cleaner. This one's the foaming one, so I just spray it on there, kind of let it do its thing for a couple seconds, maybe a few minutes. Just spray it on there nice and thick, and you'll start to see in some spots where there'll be blotches, and all those blotches are contaminants. So if I had oil on my hands while I was touching it or whatever, it's basically lifting all that stuff off. This is what I use for prepping for paint, and that's exactly what we're gonna do right now. We're gonna paint this thing up. So got some microfibers. We're gonna get a microfiber and we're just gonna wipe it down. It doesn't have to be perfect. This is just a bench. It's not a show quality paint job, but we just want to get some paint on here so it doesn't keep rusting later on. And what we're going to be using is VHT chassis black paint. So that'll be perfect for this little bench. All right guys, Milo got this thing all prepped up. He got it all wiped down. So what we're going to do is I'm going to run inside, get some spray paint, and I'm going to have him start spray painting for us. All right, so I painted the bottom side. Gonna do the top side, and like I said, single-handedly, guys, you guys should be able to do the whole thing with both hands, and much faster than me too, because I really doubt most of you guys are gonna paint your bench seat, but you might as well. You already have it taken apart. Spend a couple dollars on some wire brushes, put on a drill if you got a drill, and just go at it. Please don't judge my lawn. I have 3 dogs. So, hope you guys can understand. Here we go. There's water on there, but I don't care. It's a bench seat. So, it was already rusted at the bottom. So, it's not going to make much of a difference. If anything, I'm making it better. Okay, guys, so this is the bottom side of the bench. And what I did is I got some Clorox. And I just kind of wet it with the whole bench seat right now. Now I'm just going to go through lightly with a drill. Probably put this thing lower. And I'm just going to agitate it a little bit, help lift off some of that mold. But this whole bottom portion was covered, and I just sprayed it with a little bit, the spray bottle. And it started to eat it all up pretty good, so I'm just going to agitate it a little bit, and then I'm going to go through with some white vinegar also and hit this whole. Now I know some people are going to be like, I don't have $600 worth of Milwaukee fans to blow dry my thing after I soak it in Clorox. It's all right. Just give it a couple hours outside in the sun. Maybe throw a box fan on there if you got it, but I got this. I'm trying to wrap this thing tomorrow, so I'm leaving this thing on all day. Got a 12.0 on here, full bars. Got another 12.0 on here, full bars. So this thing is gonna get installed tomorrow, and then tomorrow I'll do the same thing with topside. All right, guys, so this is day 2. Here's the backrest. This seat's not that bad, like the cushion's not that bad. And here I just got straight up Clorox. Okay, I don't know if you guys could tell, but I wet this thing with Clorox like a couple minutes ago. You can see the floor still wet. I went inside, washed my hands, I come back out, and it's already looking good. Looking better than what it was. But this side, I'm pretty sure this is dye, because I know this side was already ripped on the bench. But this, I'm not 100% sure. Might be some mold, but I mean, this thing already starting to look better. You can still see it's a little dark right here, but it might be dye. I know this for sure is all dye, because I sat here and coated it a bunch of times because it started to fade. Me getting in and out of the truck. But I don't know. Looks starting to look better to me. So I'm gonna let it sit for a couple more minutes. I'll come back, spray it again, and then I'm gonna start brushing it. Alright guys, so I got this thing clear coated right now. For paint, I use VHT roll bar and chassis. This thing is awesome. And it's cheap too. And we use the matte clear enamel. This is the adjusting spray one. It's not that bad. It kind of spits out, but not too bad for the price. God damn it. Flicked dirt all over my clean paint job. But anyways, yeah, that's pretty much it. So this thing's all cleared. I got the brackets over here, and I rattle canned these. I clear coated them. Waited about an hour or so in between. So I'm gonna flip these over later, probably tonight after I go eat. I'll clear coat them, let them sit out all day. That one too is gonna sit out all day. I have the foam for the back drying, and I have the bottom one. This is the bottom one that I did yesterday, and it looks darker on camera. I don't know why. Even I look darker. Not this dark, I promise, but it looks way better in person. It doesn't look this dark. I don't know why it even looks this dark. This is probably the bleach. I think the bleach is what made all these spots. Just cleaned it all off. As you guys see, there's no more mold on here. So here's the bottom. This is the driver's side, and this is the passenger side. And like, look, there's no mold on here. All right, guys, so here we go. So it's the next day. I had the fan on this thing pretty much all day. And it's all dry, completely dry. So it's not even wet. Completely dry. So here we go. I'm happy with this. There's no mold from what I see anywhere. Looks pretty good. Or if you guys remember how the bottom portion looked, I'll put a post right here. All right, guys, so steamer really wasn't working. I just kept spraying water at it. So I'm just gonna leave it the way it is. It's not bad. I was just trying to puff up the foam a little bit more, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to. So I'll just wrap this thing real tight. If it doesn't come out 100%, oh well, I'll just cut the hog rings off and maybe put foam over it again, but we'll see what we can do right now. So I'm gonna take this thing out, and this should be 2 pieces. Yep. So one problem that I do have with LMC is sometimes their website really isn't explained the best. So I didn't know that the seat came with hog rings, so I bought the other pair of hog rings, and they were like 30 bucks. So this is kind of a waste of money, but oh well, at least I have more hog rings in case it doesn't work. so one of these is the bottom, which is gonna be this one right here, and then that one over there will be the top. So this I'm gonna have to cut out probably. Yep, I'm gonna have to slice it, make an X. I'm gonna make an X on here and then push it in, and this will go backwards, but hopefully it doesn't look too bad. Let's see, this is the inside portion. Looks pretty good. This is hard right here, so it should hold on to the bench seat pretty good, but we'll see how this goes. I'm gonna try and do this on the floor, because I will need 2 hands. So here's the bench seat. Got it all spray painted and chassis black paint, and it is clear coated with that one clear coat I showed you guys. And the finish doesn't look too bad on here. Actually came out pretty good. I did wire wheel the whole frame, as you guys saw in the clip before. So I wire wheeled the whole thing. I flipped this thing over as many times as I could to make sure I got nice coverage everywhere, because I didn't want it to start rusting again. But it is just a frame, so this thing won't. This thing is still pretty strong. It's not gonna rot through or nothing. So you don't have to go too crazy with it, but I just hit it with the wire brush real quick, and then a couple coats of paint, and then cleared it. I just went over this too with some paint and clear just to make it look nice. But we're gonna get ready to start putting this thing back together. All right, so first what we're gonna do is we're gonna relay this thing back down. All right, so now that we got our cover, make sure you have the right one. This is the bottom one. That's where your seatbelts go. Make sure the orientation is proper. All right, so now we're just gonna start wrapping this. All right, so I got it wrapped right now. This is just a dry fit. You guys see there's all these wrinkles in here, but that'll go away. That's just from shipping. Probably lay it out in the sun for a few hours, or I'll get like a towel and fold it over, lay it here, and then just iron it out. But all this stuff is like the least of my worries. Once it stretches out and it sits in the truck for a few hours, the heat will stretch that plastic or vinyl, so should be good. But this thing already looks so much better. But I'm just worried now that the dogs are gonna mess this thing up so bad. But it's all right. It's only a couple $100, so wouldn't be too bad to replace this thing every 5-6 years or so if I don't clean it regularly. This is the backside. Flipped it over. Backside has the same channel as the factory one. It's a little wavy. That's from shipping. It's not a big deal. So put that on right here in the center. All right, and we're gonna start popping this whole thing in there. All right, that's all good there. Now that this is all done right here, we're gonna go to the front and pull all the slack this way. Starting from the center, one way, then from the center, this way. All right. All right, guys, so these are hog rings. Let me show you how these work. So basically, these are just staples. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna have to break these apart. All right, so once you get these things taken apart, you're gonna grab your hog ring pliers. Now, if you see your hog ring pliers, they have a channel on the inside, and that's where your hog ring is gonna sit. So your hog ring will go, you'll grab your hog ring and you'll put it like that, okay? All right, so now what you're gonna do is you'll make sure that this thing is sitting in there properly. So go like that. Now you're gonna go up to this portion right here where that plastic bar is. You'll grab it right there and you'll loop it to this bar right here, to the hole, and you're gonna compress. So once you staple into the upholstery, you'll kind of bring it around and then you'll just compress this, and then this will attach to the bar right there. This will attach to the bar and it'll hold it in place for you, and that's it. But be careful. Make sure you get the upholstery in the right spot. Make sure you get the cover in the right spot, and make sure you're lined up with that hole, because if this thing doesn't grab onto the bar, it's not gonna hold your fabric in place, and you'll have to go back with some crimpers or something and cut that hog ring off, because if you sit down and this is poking out, this is gonna stab you right in the leg or something. So make sure the only hog rings that you put back on your seat cover are grabbed onto something, because the last thing you want to do is get a hog ring right in your leg when you're sitting right there. So just be careful. All right, so I'll show you guys how to do this one right now. And this step will take 2 hands for me, just because I have to hold the camera and I have to line this up, so it's going to be harder. I don't want to take much time than what I need. This whole process right here, once you get this cover on, should take about 5 minutes max. So let me just start putting this thing back on. I'll show you guys when I'm done. All right, so on this portion, I forgot, I didn't see this because this was tucked behind the seat right here, but I forgot these had this. So basically what you want to do when you get to this portion, you're going to want to fold this over, right? So this will go right here, and then you'll fold this guy. So this will go right here. You'll hog ring this, but not yet, not just yet. You're gonna fold this over right about here, and you'll line these 2 pieces up together like so, and you'll hog ring this side, and then this portion you'll hog ring to here, 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 all the way up. Okay, so I messed up right here. I forgot this portion was sticking back there, but it's all right. What I'll do is I'll just run right through, and then I'll just hog ring it again to this. So it's not the end of the world. Just make sure you don't forget this portion, because this is what holds tension on the back, keeps it from pulling forward when you keep getting in and out of the truck. So don't hog ring all this yet. You'll start from the back on this side and work your way up. All right, so here we go. So like I said, you're gonna loop that around that way, bring it back, and then you'll start hog ringing in the back, this one, this side, and then the bottom portion of the tan. So you should have 2 tan, 1 black right here, and you'll hog ring all 3 of those together, just like so. I don't know if the camera was able to pick it up, but basically what I had to do is I had to hog ring the front cover. So there's one right here in the middle, and one right here on the side, and they're all up in the front. So there's 1, 2, 3. All right, so that's gonna pull the cover tighter instead of just throwing it on and zipping it. That'll make it nice and tight. So that's what we want. Then what I did over here also is the side has a cover, and I'm probably gonna go through and try and tighten this up once it's all put together. But basically the side has a cover. It's gonna be tucked in here. You're gonna pull that out, grab it, and it's gonna have a strap, same as the bottom cushion. And that strap, you're going to run it along, and that strap basically has this line right here. So that strap, you'll run it along on the inside, and it's gonna be this one right here. You're gonna hog ring it to this bracket that's right there. You'll pull the bottom cushion, you'll pull the back cushion up from the bottom, hog ring it there in the center as well. Right here, you'll have 2 in the center. I did 2 on each bar, 2 on each bar. And then this side right here, that's what I was doing as well. I have to tuck that in a little better, but you'll see when it's all done. So that's what you got to do in order for you to zip this thing up. Now you might need another pair of hands to help you push this foam down while you zip it. Just be careful, because when I pulled this one, I could see the stitching already started to pull. I don't think it'll rip, but I just got to be careful with this. I might even clip this one, to be honest, because I don't like how tight that is. And then once you start pulling all this, you get your center hog ringed, you'll have tension right here from these back bolts. I don't know if I'm going to be using that retract system, but now we have enough room to run the zipper down. Well, you might need some help doing this. Just take your time. You don't want to run a risk like this where you have too much tension and it'll start to rip the seams out. But these seams don't even look double stitched to me, you know, single stitch. So be very careful. And I'll show you guys once this thing's all closed. All right, so here we go. So that's the back side right here. Please excuse the dog here. I had all three of the dogs down here earlier before I started making the video, but thing came out pretty good. Let me flip this thing over. So it came out pretty good. This stuff right here, it'll come out once I put that bench in the sun or in the heat. I'm not too worried about that. It's just vinyl. This thing will flatten itself out. But the only thing I have to do now is just pretty much put it back together. The only things I didn't do, I forgot to do, was paint this bracket, paint the other side, but that's okay because it has a cover. So I'm really not too worried about it. I just want to throw this thing back together, see how it feels. But give me a couple minutes, I'm gonna start bolting this thing back up, and I'll show you once it's completely back together. So. Here are the rails. They're all painted. This will be driver's side, this will be passenger side. I gotta bolt these things up. They are a little wet. It was raining outside. I had them outside still, but I'll come through right before I throw this back in the truck, and I'm gonna grease these sliders, grease the rails up real good. That's pretty much it. So now I just have to bolt it right there. I'm gonna look for this hole, probably cut a slit in it, and then bolt it on there. Same thing over here, cut a slit, bolt it. That's pretty much it. Alright guys, so here's the finished product. I got the rails back on. They're all bolted in, but everything's pretty much done. Down here at the bottom, like I said, I just cut a slit, did pizza slices and cut around it. Or you just do pizza slices, fold them inside, but it doesn't matter. This is gonna hold it in place. That fabric will never come loose. So I'm gonna flip this thing around, show you guys the front. Alright, so before I flip this thing around, I wanted you guys to see this. So this is the back side.